Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer.
And it's a beautiful Monday morning. I'm trusting you had a wonderful weekend. And let me say to you, as always, I appreciate the fact that you're up early and you're tuned in to the hottest spot that is in town. We're talking about none other than Sunshine's Corner. This is the place where you can talk about those difficult conversations and feel safe. This is the place where you know that we look to just inform, to entertain, to empower our community in a positive way. And every single day, I certainly invite you to be a part of the conversation. You can call in, you can text at 850-432-7768 to be a part of this conversation, because everything that we talk about, it affects all of us. There's a dot that connects and it all puts us in the same boat. So we got to roll so we can get to the positive solution that we need together. And this today is no different. I have some ladies that are on with me that we're going to be talking about things that you've heard me touch a bit about here in the last several months. We're talking about with suicide, overdose, human trafficking, all of that. But these young ladies that I have on today, we're going to be talking about overdose and the fact that there's a walk that's coming up this weekend, and you can be there because the weather's going to be perfect. So you sit back and relax, and let's do that right now. I want to welcome my guest in today, and look at those big smiles over here. They just smiling today. And look, Katie and Stephanie are going to tell us what we need to know, because you all, I talked to Melissa. I got to say, hi, Melissa. I didn't get to meet you, but we had a great conversation on the phone. And but we're going to talk about all of this about Jaimie's house.
Yes.
The representative of what's happening, how this walk got started, what it's all about, and the importance behind it. Let's start. I'm going to go to my far end first and go to you, Stephanie. Tell me a little bit about you and how you got involved.
Hi, I am Stephanie Johnson. I am the ambassador and also a co-leader of Jaimie's Mom's House. Jaimie's Mom's House is a place of hope and healing for those who lost their loved ones to addiction. And we're also a place where we celebrate the sobriety of those who are coming out of addiction. What Jaimie's Mom's House does, we are a support group. We're an online support group. We're also, we are with the Center for Excellence. Center for Excellence is over us, which I'm very, very awesome. It's very awesome. I'm very proud to be a part of.
Right.
We help with those who lost their, like I said, lost their loved ones to addiction. We also help with funeral expenses.
Really?
Yes, and we also do the repast after the funeral. We cater to the family's needs. Also, their mental needs. That's where the Center of Excellence come in and helps also. We're also there if they need us online at Jaimie's Mom's House on Facebook. If someone don't want to get that call in the middle of the night that they lost their loved one.
Oh my God.
And they go to that site, Jaimie's Mom's House Facebook, and they text that on Jaimie's Mom's House Facebook. I'm one of the mediators on there, and I'll be one of those people that'll take that call or take that text of that person that lost that loved one in those hours. We're there as a full support with other people that are talking about addiction. Yes, drug addiction here in Escambia County is running rapid. It's running rapid. It's killing the young, the old. Mothers, fathers, it's not just on one group, even the children, even the smaller age groups. We've learned from Washington, the walk in Washington, 10-year-olds, 9-year-olds, daycare children. And so it's so prevalent here in Pensacola, Florida, that we're coming upon this age now that it's like overflowing the city.
My goodness.
It's overflowing the city.
I mean, I'm learning so much. You see my face, I'm sure the expressions. Katie, I mean, it's just unbelievable. And we were talking before we went on, and we almost had a whole show before we went on camera. And what about you, Katie?
So I'm the director of the Center for Excellence Pensacola. Jaimie's Mom's House is one of the programs and services that we have. We have 4 overall programs, and one of them that we were talking about that goes hand in hand with overdose is human trafficking. And that's because a lot of individuals are actually controlled by drugs, by their trafficker. If I can get you hooked on drugs, then I can control you because you're going to do whatever I want you to do because you're going to want the drug from me. So that's why we do have an influx of drugs here in the city, as well as people being controlled and manipulated in other ways. And that's why, like Stephanie said, drug abuse and drug addiction isn't something that just affects young people. It
Right.
doesn't just affect the middle-aged. It doesn't just affect the old. It actually spans the entire gamut of all the genres of people and all of the ages. And you know, I think when we had our overdose
Right.
town hall, the sheriff said the youngest one that overdosed that we had here in Escambia County was 14 months old. And obviously
Yes.
that child
14
wasn't
months.
taking that
14
pill
months.
just to take it, but it was obviously available in the house, and he actually got fentanyl and took the pill, and when he did, he obviously overdosed.
See, Melissa lost her son, James,
Right.
8 years ago in Philadelphia. Melissa Moyer has been pushing this right here about awareness here in Escambia County since her son, she lost her baby. And this has been her heart mission to get
Ever
this
since.
word out ever since she lost James Moyer.
Oh, wow.
And it's devastating for a mother to lose her son or
I
her
don't think
child,
I'd
period.
handle that.
It's devastating. But for her to get the heart and the courage and the strength to go forth and continue this mission is amazing.
Oh my God! So this is how the name Jaimie's house got.
Yeah.
That was it originated from.
So Jaimie's mom's house is like she's Jaimie's mom, and what
Right.
Melissa realized when she lost her son 8 years ago was there was a lot of programs for the addict.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of rehabilitation programs and stuff that they could go through, but there really wasn't anything for the family. So when she lost James, she talks about years, and there's reels and stuff on our YouTube channel where people could see. But she talks about how literally her world fell apart, and for like several years, you know, she even struggled herself with wanting to
course.
continue to live because she lost her child.
My God.
And so what she's trying to do is provide that thing that she didn't have when James was going through that, and that's the family support, the loved one support, the people that you can call in the middle of the night. I haven't heard from them, you know, I haven't seen them in several days, like I don't know if they're still alive.
routine has changed.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's what she does now. She's that person for those people, and she's basically what she didn't have.
Oh my goodness! Can I ask what did he overdose with, or what happened?
Fentanyl.
Fentanyl.
Fentanyl?
When he was young, James's story. The thing is James was a basketball athlete.
Yes.
He graduated from ministerial school. He
Yes.
had all these like bright kid, bright future, never met a stranger, like just amazing kid. All of his pictures. He's goofy, funny. He's got hats. You could tell he had a personality that everybody loved. He lit up a room when he was there. But when he was, I think it was 13 or 14, he was introduced to prescription pills by a friend, and that started the journey on him being addicted to opioids. And when he thought at this time that he was taking opioids, he actually was taking fentanyl. And it had been laced with fentanyl. And then he began to OD, and the people that were with him didn't know what to do, and they put him in a closet because they didn't want to get in trouble for calling the police because they were high too. So that's how James's life ended. And so Melissa is trying to bring awareness to that. If something's happening to somebody you're with, you're in a situation where you're the one
Right.
doing the drugs with them.
Right.
If something's, call 911. Like
Call
the
them.
Good Samaritan law saves you, like from being able to be
To
arrested.
get in trouble
yes,
with that,
for
so
that,
you're
so
free
that
to
you
pick
could
up the
save
phone.
their life,
It saved
and be
their
okay yourself. And that's the biggest thing I think that, one of the things we really advocate for, that and bring awareness to fentanyl. Because now fentanyl is a keyword that's just used everywhere in the community.
I'm just learning about this fentanyl. I've heard, I was so in my head, I thought it was only, you had the cocaine, you had the crack, now fentanyl, and then, but what I'm finding out, it's been around for a long time.
You're right.
Yes.
It's not only used in the street. They think it's only in the low areas, but it's
in the
also used
upper-
in the richer homes too. You don't even know because they go to the doctors and they get on these pain meds, and it happens. It's a different demographic. When they get the pain meds, the next thing you know, they go into something else.
You know what I said I,
Right.
because I don't understand this, right? When you get on a pain pill, I've had pain pills.
I have.
I've been on pain pills when I went to the dentist, but I didn't.
For the mental aspect of it.
Yeah, I don't
It
get it.
is.
How I got addicted to that when I just wanted to get rid of
Out
that
of pain.
pain that was in my mouth at that moment. And I'm call me crazy,
No.
but
It happens.
I want, and then I hear, because you're not the first person that's saying this. You take a pill, then you get hooked on that one. They even say that's what was wrong with Prince.
Exactly. Yeah.
Prince had gotten so hooked that he was on fentanyl
Right.
to
Fentanyl.
control his pain,
Right.
Yes.
and had an overdose by himself.
Right.
Oh
And who
my
knew?
God. And who knew? Because I love Prince because he was also clean.
I didn't even know.
Me neither. And I'm saying because, yes, I'm a huge Prince fan, but it's like, do you understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
What I'm trying to convey. And I don't want people to take me as that, oh, I'm saying something in the negative.
Right.
I'm saying because I want to understand it.
Exactly.
I want a clear understanding because of the fact I did not know the severity of the. I've heard that there's a drug problem here. I've heard that, but to the depth that I'm finding out, it's absolutely amazing. It scares me.
Sure. Well, and here's a statistic for you because I'm a stats person. That's how.
That's what I'm talking. Give me the numbers.
So, Escambia County is the #1 overdose per capita in the United States of America. We have more overdoses per capita in the United States of America than any other county in the United States.
You said county.
County. Escambia County has more overdoses per capita than any other county
in the United States.
In the
United States.
Chills are going just through me.
Yeah.
I mean, all I'm saying, what I'm trying to convey is for us to understand the severity. I'm sure I'm not the only one that felt that way, but what we're learning, knowledge is power.
It is.
We've got to be able to accept the truth and deal with it so we can find a solution.
Right.
Instead of painting the problem, say, oh, it's going to be okay.
Right. It's not.
When it's not, when it's only getting worse. Just as with Jaimie's house, and what Melissa's doing to bring that, keep that recognition for the community to be a part so that we can make a difference so that they'll understand the severity of what they're doing.
Sure.
Yes.
And that's the part I think that Melissa does a really good job, and we have tons of partners all over the city. One of the ones, the walk, we're starting at Martin Luther King Plaza. We're actually ending at Valerie's house, and Valerie's house is a place for children who have
I had them
grief.
on.
Yep. And then Stephanie Shepard is the one that's doing the event there at that, and she has Hope Above Fear, and she lost her son Isaiah to overdose to fentanyl as well. And at the end of the day, like again, you've got this common denominator of families coming together and saying we've got to do something. But the thing that I think is the most imperative for people to learn is Isaiah wasn't a kid from the wrong side of town.
Right.
You know, he wasn't a kid in your demographic statistic that everybody likes to paint this picture of, oh, well, that's just because they grew up on the wrong side of the tracks, or they grew up like the thing is again, this is spanning every demographic and every age group, and it really is a problem because what I think I'm taking, you know, back in the day, pills have been around forever. Drugs have been around forever.
Absolutely.
And you could take something, oh, I'm just going to smoke a little weed, or I'm going to take this little, it's going to feel good. Like, yeah, here we go. But, you know, we helped bury someone this year that, or last year rather, that went and bought weed, and the weed was laced with fentanyl, and he died. And he left behind a little girl and a wife.
And a wife.
So it's, again, it's passing the brand, and honestly, one of the things like Melissa talks about, it really is murder. Like, it's no longer just a drug dealer on the corner like selling the drugs. It really is like, this is murder. When you put fentanyl in something, you know that there's like an 80% chance that the person smoking that is going to die, or the person taking that is going to die.
We sit with women every month, once a month at Valerie's house, and to see the mothers cry and break down and cannot talk.
I can't imagine.
Because of the, you know, the multitude of emotions they have. It's heartbreaking.
My God. We're going to keep this going. Everybody, please, if you would like to be a part of this conversation, the only, and I say this so often, the only crazy question is the one that you don't ask. If you see what's going on, I believe collectively as a community, when we come together and work toward the same goal, what an impact we can have instead of sprouting out.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
If we're trying to do the same thing, let's work together. Let's come together. We got more to talk about, and you can be a part of this conversation right here today on Sunshine's Corner.
Navigating healthcare is hard. Baptist makes it better. With convenient locations, easy scheduling, and skilled, compassionate doctors, all when you need us most. The next time you need care, let Baptist make it better. Baptist Healthcare.
Empire Truck Sales, located at 2255 West Detroit Boulevard in Pensacola, is your Freightliner, Western Star, Detroit Diesel, and Cummins dealer for Northwest Florida. Open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., Saturdays and Sundays, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., providing sales, service, and parts. Empire Truck Sales is also your Oasis dealer for Freightliner custom chassis RV and motorhome repairs. Running I-10 will get you in.
Many who consider facial plastic surgery are concerned their results will look unnatural. But with over 20 years of serving the Pensacola community, his thousands of satisfied patients have made Dr. Derek Jones a trusted reconstructive and facial plastic surgeon known for industry-leading results that look natural. Call 850-484-FACE to schedule a consultation at one of our locations in Pensacola and Gulf Breeze.
I'm Dr. Derek Jones. Trust your face to a facial plastic surgeon.
Animal Allies is looking for volunteers, and there are many ways that you can help. From taking care of cats to using your computer and social media skills, any and all assistance is greatly appreciated. We have morning and afternoon shifts every day or help at adoption events. You can even foster a kitty at home. And it counts towards community service hours for bright futures. Find Animal Allies Florida on Facebook and Instagram, or go to aaflorida.org/volunteer.
In our democracy, your vote matters. Make your voice heard, get registered, seek out reliable reporting on the candidates and issues, and vote on or before November 5th. Visit vote411.org. This message is furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
And welcome back to Sunshine's Corner, the Monday edition. Now, this is the way you get your week started off on a positive note, when we're trying to find solutions to a problem that affects us all. Not just one group, not just on the north, south, the east, the west side. I'm talking about everybody, not just the ones that are lower in the middle, but it affects everybody. There is no name that it will not try to attach itself to. And I'll tell you, we've got Stephanie and Katie here from Jaimie's house, Jaimie's mom's house.
Jaimie's mom.
Mm-hmm. And we're talking about this is overdose because we've got a walk this weekend that's coming up. And I am pleading with the community. Show up. Pass the word. This is difficult conversation, but what I want you to do is think about this. If it were you. Mm-hmm. If it were you, would you not want support for you? So let's keep that support going with Melissa, what she's done with Jaimie's mom's house, okay? Mm-hmm. So that we can all, I mean, go. You know what a plaza is right there for a Dr. King monument is?
That's right.
Come right there and just walk this weekend. What time the walk kicks off, as a matter of fact?
Kicks off at 5 p.m.
Oh,
We're showing up about 4:30. We know it's August and we know it's hot, but it actually is amazing. Like I said, we're walking to Valerie's house. We're going to end up there. There's actually a whole nother thing going on there with Hope Above Fear with Stephanie Shepherd, and it's going to be awesome because, again, like you said, it's when the community comes together, when we unify in our goal, and that's really what we're looking to do, is bring unity to this. So come out, Martin Luther King Plaza, bring some water. Yeah, bring your little fan, your little neck fan, water in your neck fan, and we'll be out there, like I said, about 4:30, getting stuff organized, letting people know the route that we're going to take, and then we just walk.
Bring your loved one's picture. Those who lost their loved ones, bring the photograph of your loved ones. Walk with your loved one with you.
Absolutely.
Or the sobriety days. People walk with their sobriety days. They hold those, and the whole reason.
So you'll do that as well, right?
Yes, yeah. We got pictures. A lot of us have pictures. I have pictures of James that I carry too with Melissa and them, because it's like I told Melissa one day. I said, you know, I never really got to meet James. Like I didn't meet him. He was gone when I actually got to know Melissa.
Right.
And I said, but you know, I feel like we could have been friends.
Of course.
So, you know, for his birthday one year, I read a thing to the boy I never got to meet. But, you know, through Melissa, I feel like I know James.
I do.
And it's one of those things, we never met him, but we do this, you know, for him and for all that he represents. And I think that's one of the things that the pictures do is, you know, I told you we're #1 in Escambia County for overdose. But we take those statistics, like 30, I think it's like average 35 people we lose a week, and we're taking that 35 and putting pictures.
A week?
A week.
Or, a week.
Yeah, a week.
Yeah.
And we're like very next to Philadelphia, Kingston's. You know,
Yes, like the things that you think of, you're like, what?
I mean,
talk to any nurse, talk to any hospital person. Like it's literally, that's why we distribute Narcan in the facility. We have Narcan always. We go through a case of Narcan a Friday when we do our community table. We do a food program where people can get boxes of food, and when we do that, we have a table set up, and on there's all the opioid statistics, all the things that you can do to pick up, how to know what to do with an overdose, as well as what to do with the signs and symptoms of trafficking, and they literally take those, and we go through a case a week.
You say you have a food pickup every Friday?
Yes.
So you do a little bit of everything. That's what I'm talking about.
The Center for Excellence.
Yeah.
Oh, get out.
Yes.
So how did you incorporate that when you find out that people are going through situations or?
Yeah, so the Center for Excellence is kind of like the overall umbrella, and what we do is we have 4 main programs. So Melissa is Jaimie's mom's house, and that's where we kind of handle the addiction and the families of addiction. And then we learn that a lot of those people, when you are in active addiction, you have a hard time holding a job down. You have a hard time of like taking care of your family. And so really through different avenues, we realized that we're on the west side of town. So we realized that people needed food. And it's not just your normal people, with the economy the way it is, it's not just lower class that need it, right? It's not just lower class that need it. Groceries are so high and all the bills have gone up. So if you were living on a budget before, your budget's blown just because of inflation. So we end up giving a box of food a month for families that sign up for the pantry. They sign up, and then we give them a box of food, and that's meant to be a subsidy for their food.
Of course.
So we've got meat and vegetables and different canned goods and stuff like that that they are able to get with the focus of trying to help people make it through this time.
Up, not a handout.
Oh, I love that. It's a hand up, not a handout.
Yep.
Come on, I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, I just commend you guys. I'm learning so much for what you do. I don't know why this keeps resonating over and over in my head. I want to say this, that you see here at Sunshine's Corner, it's not about who did what.
Right.
It's not about who did what first.
Right.
Exactly.
It's not about trying to just find or settle a name. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
We are here to make a difference.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
This is what Sunshine's Corner is all about, and I believe the more you talk about a situation, I'm not just going to talk about it one week, forget it, and come back next year, because that problem is here. It's something needs to be top of mind at all times.
Exactly.
And I say that to say you've heard a lot of people come on the show, even with the sheriff.
Sure. Yeah.
Have talked about the things that we're affected by, even with the chief of police.
Yeah.
The thing that we have been affected by, that we as a community gotta come together to find a solution.
Yes.
If it's one person at a time, we're successful.
Exactly.
If it's one person at a time, that's only 30 for a week then.
Right.
Then next week, another week, we're counting down.
Right.
It's what I'm trying to say. So let's stop with, I don't want to deal with that because of. I live in the streets. When I'm out there and I hear people.
That's it.
Sure. Yeah.
I hear people talk about this and that and the other. But I think if we would get our mind out of the gutter, because you never know what tomorrow holds.
That's true.
You could be in the same situation.
Yes. Yes.
That Melissa's in. And so many other mothers that are going through. Because if you're saying how many per week.
Yes.
That's a lot of people.
Well, and taking the stigma out, like there's such a stigma around addiction.
Yes.
And it almost brings shame on the people who are left.
Yes.
You know, that you lost, you were a bad mom, or you were this, or you it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with a societal problem that we have.
That's right.
And if we don't step up and do it as a society and help deal with it, who's supporting that mom? Who was helping her when she was out on the streets looking for her son?
Why did she end up on the street?
There? Like, where are those people asking those questions to those problems?
Exactly.
Because that's really what needs to be taken care of. And if we can get out of, like you said, the stigma and out of this has to be mine or it has to have my stamp on it. You know, at the end of the day, let's drop the logos and the egos and let's just get
work together.
Get the job done.
Let's work together.
Yes.
Togetherness. You know what I'm saying? I believe that from every core that's on the inside of me. And I say that over and over and over. Let's come out of that, because we're going to stay right here doing the same thing, expecting a better solution, and it's not going to happen doing the same thing over and over and not changing anything to make it better.
Right.
I have a passion for this.
Yes.
Because of the fact that I see it, and I don't know, and I tell you, I'm not ashamed to say I pray for my son.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I don't know
what's out there.
What's out there.
Right.
And I mean, when he was at home, he was a child, I could pop, pop, pop. I
but
believe
not-
pop, pop, pop. Okay?
Yeah.
we probably still do. If him can't get out of hand,
You know
we
what I'm
still would.
saying? But I'm saying is you don't know.
What's
And
going
what's out there, and I want people to stop that. And I hear so many people. I read and I do a lot of stuff on social media to see
Right.
what people's heads are.
Right.
Yep.
And you'll be amazed what you find out.
Yes.
All you gotta do is sit back and read.
Right.
Yeah,
That's true.
read.
Okay, because some people feel like that's their way. They think that I got my platform,
platform,
now.
yeah.
I
Right.
can speak, but
Right.
that shows me your heart.
Yes. Right.
And what I'm saying is that we as a people, we as this community, number one, Escambia County,
Yes.
something has to change.
It has to.
Let's work with Chip.
Yes. Yes.
Let's work with the chief of police.
Yes.
Let's all come together and make a difference and
Yes.
stop saying I, and it's us.
Or you.
Thank you.
It's your problem.
That's-
You did this.
yeah.
It's your fault for not being on
Let's
the
get
streets.
that.
Yeah.
Let's get out of that mentality.
Yes.
Because it's not going to be any difference there. And I want everybody to show up this weekend there at the walk, kicking off at 5 o'clock. Get there at 4:30. Bring your bottle of water. Get your wet towel, whatever it takes to keep you cool, and meet us there. And let's walk
Let's
to make a
walk.
difference. Let's show up in numbers to make a difference.
Yes.
You know what you guys do. I commend you
Thank you.
because it's got to be difficult
Yes.
with the things that you see, but I believe that God has something for all of us, and He puts that
He does.
what He has for us to do,
Yes.
and He's gonna equip us with what it takes to get through with
Yes,
Yes.
it does.
it. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes.
I'm a strong believer in my faith as well. He's not gonna put any more on you than you can bear.
We
Yes.
can bear.
So therefore, He's got you equipped to continue doing what you're doing. And believe me, Sunshine's Corner gonna follow you all the way. We're gonna make a difference together.
yes,
Yes.
we are.
You talked about something else earlier
Okay.
when you were talking about not just the overdose, not just the fentanyl. This troubles me. Human trafficking. Right here in this area. Huge. I
Yes.
did not realize it. You know, I thought that was only in the movies.
Yeah. A lot of people do.
Yeah. I think.
I thought that was only on Law and Order.
Right.
You know, when they got them in the truck.
Yep.
I mean, that's visual what I see, because that's what I think about
Right.
when I think of that, not knowing that it's here.
Yes.
How do you deal with that? Tell me more about that so you can educate me.
Okay, so I'm a part of a couple different groups, but I'm also on the Circuit 1 Executive Board for the human trafficking circuit here in Pensacola. And so we see a lot of things in and out, and you know, Florida takes a very big stance on human trafficking. Here in Pensacola, the number one way that kids are trafficked is through familial trafficking, which is the adult selling the child for goods and services. Anytime there's a transaction for goods and services and sex, that's trafficking.
Sex.
Yeah, it can be, well, sex, or for indentured. We've got, you know, because of the open border and different people coming in, we're, you know, with the interstate, we're a main hub that was a stopping point. So you also have indentured servants. The one, we actually canvass a lot of the area around where we're at, and I actually had to call and turn a trailer in one of the trailer parks that we were in, because there were 14 Hispanic men living in there. None of them had IDs. None of them spoke English.
In the same house?
In the same
house.
single wide trailer.
Trailer.
And they only got dropped off by their boss in the morning, picked up at night. And to me, those are all red flags. So I just called, you know, the person I know at the sheriff's office, and I said, hey, you know, you might want to check this out. I don't want to get them in trouble, but I also know that there's laws to protect them if they're
Right.
brought here. So again, I'm not, you know, getting anybody in trouble. I'm not getting anybody deported. But what I am doing is, those guys were probably making barely anything. And they were being controlled by the person they were working for. So that's labor trafficking. And so here in Escambia County, one of our biggest concerns that leads to trafficking is the runaway problem. We have a huge runaway juvenile problem here in Escambia County. And with that happening, again, like I told you before, the dealers get them hooked on the drugs, or the pimps get them hooked on the drugs, because now you're going to do whatever I tell you to do so you can get this drug. So if that means I make you turn 12 tricks, you know, in the afternoon so that you get this, or, you know, you've got, you know, this. That's how this works. And so that's what trafficking looks like. And so it literally could be the kid next door. One of my friends, she wanted to try drugs for the first time. Her dad took her. The next time, and he paid that time. The next time, they wanted the drugs. He didn't have the money, so he gave them her. so that they could
Wait,
get
now,
the drugs.
say that again.
So the first time they went to get drugs, like she was like, I want to try, drugs. So her dad's like, well,
She told
okay.
Daddy this.
She told Daddy this because they did drugs, and his rule was that as long as you couldn't
You're
do it by
doing it with
yourself,
me.
you're doing it with
Right.
us. So they went to get the drugs together. The first time he had the money, he paid. The next time they went and got him, she went with him. He didn't have the money. He gave her to them, and he got the drugs, and then brought them home. And that's how he paid for them the second time, was her.
Get out of Dodge.
Yes.
I said get out of Dodge.
Traffic within their own family, because I was traffic within my own family. So yes, it
You
happened.
were?
Yes.
Stephanie's got an incredible testimony.
Oh, I want to hear that test. I'm beginning to get hot up in here. I mean, do you mind
I don't mind
sharing your testimony?
I'm transparent when it comes to me being sexually trafficked within my own family by an uncle from the age of 8 to 14 years old. And that had me to the point at 14, I was on the streets already. I was already on the streets, already doing what I wanted to do. I was
At
already
14?
At 14 years old. I was already out in the club, selling my body to get what I had to get. I was also in addiction also. I became a teenage mother at 15. After that, it spiraled. It was me not being at home with my baby. My mom had to keep my baby. But I was mainly tricking out in the street.
So mama got the baby to raise, so
And
you
I
could still
went-
go out there and do what you
I
wanted
did
to
what
do.
I wanted to do. And I was high, and I was on anything. It was cocaine, I tried it all. But it started from me being trafficked within my own family.
Oh my Jesus. Do you find that happens a lot?
Like I said,
I don't want to say a lot. I mean, I'm like I
Nobody
said,
did.
no
When we were
crazy. Only question is crazy the one you don't ask.
When we were talking about the drugs, so it is very much tied to mental illness,
health.
right? And mental illness, a lot of times, unfortunately, America is the #1 consumer of sex in the world. And when COVID happened, instead of going and bringing in people, we went shopping in our backyard because there was no travel, right? So there's a lot of children who are molested early in life. If you don't know the signs and symptoms and you don't know what to look for, then that's the troubled kid, or that's the kid that acts out, or that's the kid that does this. But there are actually people who do talks, and we do a lot of awareness. I'm all about awareness because I've been with people that we've had to walk through the journey of recovery with for being trafficked and living years in trafficking and all of the trauma that comes along with that. And that's a very long journey. And that's somebody literally standing with you all the way and the step of the way to get you. Now there's people I could even name in this town. There's super successful people, you'd never guess it, but they're around the tables that I'm in and have had experiences where they were trafficked. And again, you can come back, you can be 100% successful in your life and in everything, but it's a journey, and you have to have people there beside you. And if I can encourage you, or I can inform a mom, or I can inform a grandma, or I can inform a child of what to look for, the phones are the biggest thing these days with kids. Kids are getting trafficked right over their phones by sextortion is the biggest thing. That somebody who you think is your own peer asking you to send them a picture, right? Send me a picture of you,
A nude
nude picture. And they send that picture. Well, really, it's a 45-year-old man on the other side of the screen, and now he's like, if you don't keep sending me pictures, then I'm going to tell your mama, and I'm going to post this on school. Well, so you keep sending the pictures. So now you're being trafficked for these pictures that are now showing up at other spots of the internet, and this child's being exploited. Well, say you're 13 years old, say you're 10 years old, the guilt and shame you feel leads you into a mental spiral,
But
right?
of course.
And you don't, adults have a hard time dealing with that, right? Not to mention a 10-year-old. And so sometimes what we see as acting out, or we see as, oh, this child's just withdrawing, they're not doing good in school anymore, they're not doing, is really signs of something's going on. And that's why I tell people all the time, and this is my bigger kick, if you have a child and they have a device, do not put it in their room. Because if you wouldn't let a stranger go into their bedroom and shut the door, that's exactly what you do every time you send them in there with a tablet, with a gaming system, or with any kind of thing where they can communicate with the outside world. The phone.
That's the stranger.
You're letting some stranger into your kid's room.
Knowledge is power. I'm blown away, but I'm taking notes mentally. I'm writing things down mentally. But listen, we're going to come back and talk with more. Now's the time I want to hear from you. 850-432-7768. You can call or text. Let's talk with these ladies, and then we're going to find out how you can be a part to help. everybody needs help. When we're doing the thing for everybody needs help. So I want to hear from you. Stay close. We're going to talk about that when we return right here on Sunshine's Corner.
Watch a new episode of Crime Stoppers Wanted Fugitives every Friday at 6 p.m. Hosted by Sergeant Melanie Peterson and David Craig. Your tips may be eligible for a cash reward, featuring items about officer training, various aspects of police work, and crime prevention information. You'll hear about upcoming family-friendly engagement events as well. Don't miss Crime Stoppers Wanted Fugitives every Friday at 6 p.m.
In our democracy, your vote matters. Make your voice heard. Get registered. Seek out reliable reporting on the candidates and issues, and vote on or before November 5th. Visit vote411.org. This message is furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
This is Wayne at Icon Automotive in Robertsdale, Alabama, and I wanted to tell you more about our powertrain warranty forever. It comes with any vehicle we sell that has 80,000 miles or less at no additional cost to you. We put our vehicles through a tough safety and mechanical inspection before it can have the powertrain warranty forever, giving you a peace of mind with your purchase. This warranty is good anywhere in the country, and it covers 100% of parts and labor with no mileage limit, and is covered as long as you own the vehicle. Come pick out your dealership car at non-dealership pricing with the powertrain warranty forever at Icon Automotive.
Keeping your family healthy can be complicated. Baptist makes it better with trusted primary care doctors for the whole family and trusted specialists at convenient locations throughout the region ready to care for you. All when you need us most. Let Baptist make it better. Baptist Healthcare.
Go back to being a kid again. Head on over to Bubba's Sweet Spot. We've got house-made caramels, fudge, pralines, marshmallows, and lots and lots and lots and lots of chocolate. Looking for more traditional candy? We've got you. Our walls are covered head to toe in all the classics, from taffy to gummies and lollipops to gumballs. And don't forget our ice cream. With endless toppings and dipped cones, we've got what you're craving. Let us take you back to a time when every problem could be solved with candy. At Bubba's Sweet Spot.
And welcome back to Sunshine's Corner, this Monday edition. And I tell you, we keep getting deeper. I keep learning more, and I'm certainly hoping that you are taking these notes as well so that we can put all of our resources together and make a difference. I will say that till I can't say it anymore because I strongly believe in that. We're talking about today with the Hope Walk that's going to be coming up this weekend with Jaimie's mom's house. Yes. We're talking about overdose. We're talking about human trafficking. We're talking about fentanyl. We're talking about everything that being used in our community to keep us at a spot where we think that if we don't come together, it's going to stay there.
Exactly.
And I mean, I see things, I hear things, but you see the same thing, you hear the same words, and that's it.
That's it.
One thing I happened here today is high on cloud 50 today. 2 days later, it's gone. You don't hear anything else about it.
Nothing else.
I think that will never keep top of mind. Right. I mean, you got to keep it up there so that people will know that, what we talked about yesterday is still important today.
It's important.
You know, it's very important. And to the fact that we were talking about how with these devices where the younger people are on these things 24/7 is what I call it. Yeah. Or what I see. But I see now in the younger homes, the mama on the phone. They give the phone to the child to make them quiet.
Right.
Yeah.
They grow up with it in their hand.
Yeah.
When they come home, the child has it. They're on the tablet, in the phone, they're in the room with the door shut. You're on it 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
Not in my house. But what I'm saying is with those kind of things, the chances that we're taking, so those are signs that we should be aware of and stop saying not my child.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
And stop saying not my child.
Your child. Exactly. Your child can do this.
Your child does this because who's up that late on the phone?
Yeah.
And I say that, so I'm talking to mama now. I'm talking to daddy now. Be the mama and the daddy. You take control. You take it away. And you put some discipline there.
Yeah.
Because I think that some of what I see, the kids are raising the parents.
Yeah. And that's about it. That's about it.
I don't want this. If you don't want it, you got a job.
Exactly.
Right.
Who's paying for this?
Exactly.
Earn it. That's the way I was brought up.
Right.
I believe this. Now, hear me, and I say this often. Sure, we're in 2024. But the foundation should never change.
It shouldn't. It
The
shouldn't.
foundation, now sure we are going to excel, we are going to expand, we're going to learn more.
Yeah.
But the foundation should not change, because if your foundation is strong,
Yeah.
the side's gonna stand up.
It is. It is.
If your foundation is strong, the
Right.
roof's not gonna cave in because the sides are strong.
Exactly.
Right.
All I'm saying is, sure, we are advancing. Yes, this is 2024, but the same thing that will kill you from back in the day will kill you today, but it's on a
Exactly.
rapid race today because
It's
of things that's so
rapid.
accessible for the
Yes.
young people. So we as a parent, we as a neighborhood, now let's save our kids.
Right.
Let's be mama. You can get
Right.
mad at me all you want,
Exactly.
but one day you're gonna appreciate it.
Right.
Exactly.
And that's all I'm saying that I see on there. Call me old-fashioned,
Right.
but I believe in those old-fashioned values, because that's not taken away
Right.
from anything that we've advanced to, the knowledge. I'll use this scenario. I'll say it like this: the Word of God hadn't changed in over 2,000 years,
And it won't.
Right.
and it will not
And it
change.
won't.
So, do you understand where I'm going
Yes,
with that?
yes.
Yes.
Sure, we can grow, we can get free, but don't flip the whole script.
Right. Well, and I will say this because, and this is kind of, you've brought up the Lord several times, and we're both believers,
Right.
and like what we do.
Oh, I feel
is
better now because I'm a believer all the way.
Yes,
what
we are.
we do is because of Jesus and what He did for us.
Amen.
But I will
Right.
say this to any church in Pensacola, because at one point, now I don't know after COVID the statistics, but we used to have more churches per capita than any other city.
They're on every corner.
And
We used to.
but at the same time, we're also number one on all the bad lists, right? So explain that correlation to me.
Come on,
Explain
make that make
correlation.
sense.
So what I would say is, if you're a pastor of church, you've got something out there, focus on families, because this is the thing that we also see a lot of.
Right.
The kid, is now, most of the kids come home, and they come home off of a school bus by themselves. Older kids bringing siblings in. They make sure that their homework is done or that the food is whatever,
Right.
because mom's working 2 or 3 jobs and dad's working 2 or 3 jobs, because that's the economy we live in. And then you also have the generation before us, before we started having these hard conversations.
Right.
They were the ones who were abused.
Uh-huh.
They were the ones that were molested. They were the ones that were trafficked and didn't even know they were being trafficked. And they have all this stuff, but now they have kids their own that they're trying to raise, and they have all this trauma that they've never worked through, because
Right.
back in the day, you didn't talk about it. Churches
Right.
weren't
It
places
wasn't.
that you talked about it.
That's
It wasn't
right.
places that you wanted to have.
That's right.
Well, really, you didn't talk about it to anyone, or your
That's
best
right.
friend might have known what
That's
actually
right.
happened
And
to you.
she knew
but
she wasn't gonna
besides
say none
that,
of
yeah,
this.
but besides that, nobody else had the conversation. And I think that that's the part that we have to do, is we have to start having the hard conversations. And if you
hard
don't
ones.
know how, we have community partners and organizations that we partner with that
Yes.
do that. They teach you how to have the hard conversations with your kids and how to have the hard conversations with yourself. And I'm a firm believer, there's no shame in counseling. There's
None.
no
No
shame
shame.
in therapy.
None.
There's none.
None.
If you need to get help, seek help. It doesn't matter if it happened to you when you were 4 or 5. If
Exactly.
you've never dealt with it,
Seek help.
then you probably have had a life of addiction, or struggled with alcoholism, or struggled with getting the same man that beats you over and over again,
That
or you're with
point.
controlling women all the time, because you've
Yes.
never
That's a
dealt with the
pattern.
trauma that's got you to the place where you're at,
happened
and
to
now
me.
you're trying to
Exactly.
cope. You're trying to cope. And I think that that's, the main thing that I would say too. The drug problem is so big, but we have a lot of coping people in Pensacola. And again, there's not enough therapy places out there, but again, a plug for the church. If we would start being the church, if there would start being things
what we're
for
supposed to be.
families and beginning to have that community to help people
Have
get
that
through
talk with
that,
the families.
then
Absolutely.
it would be a thing. And quit having such a stigma to drugs. If the drug addict walks into your church, they shouldn't just have to sit on the back row.
And
like,
what is he doing in here? Take him out.
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
and that's one of the things, like, we have to start embracing people where they are, so they will trust us enough to take the hand up instead of just the handout. Because I'm just going to keep taking the handout because I don't trust you.
Right.
And you've given me no reason, and nobody else in the world has ever given me a reason to trust them. So why would I trust you? But if I can shift that narrative and I can actually start showing you love and not judgment and not whatever, and I can start bringing you to a point where you're like, you know what, I can trust this human. This person's really here to help with no agenda, everything aside. I'm going to help you to get to this organization and talk to this organization. Here's a help here and there. That's what it's about. And I think that that's what Melissa's done a really great job, is like, she's probably got 25 different organizations that stand around her that do different things that help fight the opioid crisis and who help fight the addiction and who help raise people up. We've got rehabilitation homes for men and women. We've got different transitional homes that she's partnered with. I mean, she's always out in the community and she's always building relationships, and like her list of, her little network of people that we can contact is very large. And it's because she's put the time in to fill the gaps. What do people need? How can we get them from the street to full sobriety? What can we do to help that? And to help that parent have an ease of mind who they don't know what to do. You know? So it really does take an advocate when you're trying to bring somebody from that stance. And it takes an advocate for the parent to let them know, hey, don't give up, and here's some resources for you.
And we're over 500 strong on Facebook. Over 500. How many? Over 500 strong now. And we're also we're touching Philadelphia. We got
not just here.
Not just here.
Yeah, we've got people. Somebody's doing a ride in Buffalo for us this same Saturday up in Buffalo, New York. She's bringing awareness.
You see, that's what I'm talking about, connecting the dots. Okay, connect the dots.
Yes.
And you know what? When you say that all the way to Philadelphia, New York City, why don't we come together in Pensacola?
Yeah.
Why won't we come together in Pensacola if we are number one?
Yeah. Well, it's admitting first that you're number one. A lot of people don't believe that statistic because they don't drive on those sides of town. They don't go to those types of places, but you don't realize it's the neighbor right next door that had a heart attack, but really it was because they had been a pain pill user for years. In my family, all of my grandma's brothers and sisters all died from lifetimes of being addicted to pain pills. Lifetimes. Like they had one injury that then had a lot of trauma from their past that they never dealt with. They were molested as children, different things. Then as soon as they got that pain pill, they started taking it because it numbed them.
That's not my problem issue. That's not my problem.
So that's what it is. It numbs the problem.
Not my problem.
I mean, okay, like with me, I'm using myself again. When I would take that pain pill, it would take away that pain in my mouth.
Exactly.
So I'm okay. But when that drug kind of wear off, here comes the pain back again. I'm painting the picture. So give me another pill.
Yeah.
That's it.
Boom.
Exactly.
That pain is gone again. I'm just using that as an analogy so people can see what we're talking about. I mean, that it's an ongoing thing. So when you get to that, then the body gets so used to that, I need a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, and then it becomes not so much even the physical pain. Again, I'm talking about trauma. I'm talking about heart trauma, mental illness. I'm talking about spiritual trauma. When you don't address those issues, just like we don't address the body, that pill does the same thing because it alters your state of mind. So now I'm not reliving those nightmares. I'm not reliving those things. I'm not reliving those things. I'm not feeling all that guilt. I'm not having all that shame. And so I take the pill because it lowers my senses.
Jesus. Let me tell you something, guys. Everybody who's listening today, watching today, viewing today, however you are getting this, I hope that you're taking notes. I hope that there's a light bulb time. But when you're in that light bulb go off, ding, that you're going to be a part of what we're doing to make a difference here. Because I'm finding out now that Melissa, Katie, Stephanie, you all are doing a lot, not just here in Pensacola. And I'm thinking possibly because of the fact of some of the resources you need, you have to expand, and you got the connection from other places. Let's not just let this bypass. Please, and I mean please from my heart, let's come together to help to make a difference. I'm going to be there Saturday. Awesome. I'm going to walk with you on Saturday. Thank you. And I'm asking everybody to do the same. We'll be back to tell you even more right here on Sunshine's Corner.
I just remembered it's election day. Are you going to vote?
I don't know. I don't think I'll have time today.
Millions of eligible voters in America never make it to the polls or even register to vote. When you don't vote, you're letting other people make decisions for you and pick the things your taxes will pay for. Voting is more than a civic duty. It gives you a voice about the priorities and the future of your community and our nation. Voting gives you a seat at the table.
Well, I think it's all about local. and I'm a big believer in local. So I think anytime you can carry a message out locally, it's important. And I think it's anytime the person that delivers the service can also deliver the message, which is unusual. You have the people that actually deliver the project doing the talking, and I think that's a huge difference, and really makes a huge value difference for the consumer. So I'm really just so grateful that we have this local opportunity with Blab TV. My name is Quint Studer, and I am Blab TV.
The Reesburg Institute, Pensacola's ear, nose, throat, and voice center. We welcome you to visit us at our convenient Davis Highway location in Pensacola. At the Reesburg Institute, we offer the most advanced treatment available in a calm, stress-free environment. Since 2014, we've performed over 1,000 cases in office of balloon sinus surgery, as well as septoplasty and nasal procedures using oral sedation. The in-office procedures result in a faster healing time. Visit us and feel the difference.
Hello, my name is Eric, and this was my first visit to Little John's. The selection, the pricing here, and the customer service were outstanding. I would definitely recommend. The staff was very friendly, and they'll get you what you need.
Hi, this is John with Little John's Big and Tall here in Pensacola, Florida at 5700 North Davis Highway. Check us out at littlejohnsbigandtall.com, where we can take care of you with extra large up to 14X and large tall to 6X tall.
And welcome back to Sunshine's Corner. I tell you, when you're having a great conversation with great information, it seems like the clock just goes tick-tock so fast, because I am so intrigued with this. But I'm going to come to you, Stephanie, because you was talking about, and I want Pensacola, we can be heard anywhere in the world. All you got to do is download the app. You can go to our YouTube channel. You can hear us anywhere in the world. If you would like to keep up with what's going on with Sunshine's Corner, you can go to Channel 6 on Cox. You can go to, so many resources. You got Roku. You got all of that. Yeah. You can see this show. But you were talking about the need that we have in Pensacola. Mm-hmm. Tell me more about that.
We are in a beautiful city. Pensacola is a beautiful city on the Gulf Coast. And we have the Blue Angels, and everybody comes to see the Blue Angels. Yep. The Blue Angels stand for so much more spiritually. They have their wingmen. They have the pit bosses and everything. We want Pensacola to be our wingmen. We want Pensacola, the community of Pensacola, to be our pit bosses.
Come on now.
We need for them to pull for us and be a part of the Center for Excellence and Jaimie's Mom's House. Absolutely. We need their sponsorship. We need their donations. Without this, we need to push this thing further. Every donation and sponsorship given to us is put into the community.
Right.
Not into pockets, it's put into the community to help feed the community, to help people get buried, unknown burials, things that happen out of space. When a parent calls and said, I can't bury my child. Jeez. We like to have the finances and Pensacola to help us be able to help these communities, help these families.
So you all pay for the whole thing, the whole funeral? So, you help with the funeral, whatever they need. So
so there's like a formula, because again, that's unplanned, and nobody plans for the 13-year-old to overdose.
No.
And oftentimes what happens is we come in and there's a form that they fill out, but what we do is we help pay for the cremation is what we do. We'll pay that portion, and then we do, if they don't have, we've done several wakes and stuff there. We actually rent space inside of a church over on the west side of town, and they're really gracious in letting families come in if they want to do a memorial service or whatever. We host the memorial service. We'll host the wake food afterwards. Jaimie's Mom's House provides the meal and caters it, and we serve them because we know what it's like to lose, and that's one less thing you have to worry about is we'll help you take care of that. And so financially, that's what we do, is we help put the money in to help, because again, funerals are expensive.
Oh yes, they are.
And if there's different ways that we can go about, but if we can help in that avenue and that route, then we do help, and we try to supply that. So because nobody should not be able to remember their loved one in the way that they should remember them, and nobody should not get to bury somebody just because they don't have the money.
Absolutely.
And we do that for them, and also, like she said, we have the wake, we have the wait, all these things. We also serve them ourselves. We get on the tables and we give them the food ourselves, because we're somebody.
Come on, somebody.
You
Look
know,
at me. Come on, somebody.
With somebody, and to be somebody that I do something selfishly for somebody else.
Absolutely.
And guess what? I love somebody other than myself.
Come on now.
That's what we're
I'm talking about.
That's our logo. Be somebody.
That's what our shirts say that we'll be walking with on Saturday. They say be somebody, somebody. That's the Jaimie's Mom's House fundraising shirt. And that's what we walk in as our be somebody, somebody.
I got to get a shirt.
And we have those shirts
We'll get your size. We'll make sure you have it.
I got to have a shirt.
We'll have those shirts
I'm going to be there.
Yes, ma'am. And we'll have the vendors also at Valerie's house. And guess what? We want Pensacola to come out and see what we do.
Absolutely.
As a Center for Excellence and Jaimie's Mom's House. We're so stoked. We want to know people. We want to also partner with them.
Well, and walking is bringing awareness, and it's also acknowledging, it's saying, I hear you. Like, I hear all the moms. You know, at Valerie's house, it's going to be the moms that have lost, the dads that have lost, the brothers and sisters of those that have lost people. That's where those guys are going to be. And so not only are you with people who are, you know, walking and supporting, but, you know, oftentimes people are like, well, addiction hasn't touched my family. Well, I think it was the county commissioner said at one time, he said, well, if you believe that, then you're wrong. He said, because we only have so many EMS that are out on the streets.
Absolutely.
And if your grandpa has a heart attack on this side of town, but my EMS are over here because they're going to 4 overdoses that have happened, then your grandpa doesn't get to the hospital in time, so your grandpa passes away. Your life was touched by addiction, just not directly. And I was like, that's powerful. That was
a great analogy. That was a great
powerful.
analogy. But you know, and I really want to plead right along with you that Pensacola come together.
Yes.
That we do this together, and to please remember Saturday. 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
The monument right there on Palafox.
Yes.
Dr. King. Get there by 4:30. Bring your water. Have your great walking shoes on.
Yes.
And just prepare to lend a helping hand.
And bring your photograph of your loved one.
That's right. And bring that picture so you can walk with that person. And it only takes. Don't go to the mall that day. Come out here and walk.
There you go. Yeah.
It only takes a little bit.
Get your walk on downtown.
Right. And people are like, oh, it's hot, it's this. Well, losing someone is never comfortable.
Not at all.
So I'm standing with people who have in a life. You know, you mentioned earlier about something that reminded me what Melissa says. You know, everybody was there the week after.
You hear it today, then it's dead tomorrow.
Yeah, they checked in the month after, but 2 months. Less calls were coming in to check on her. 3 months, less calls. At a year mark, everybody else had moved on, but there was still that empty chair at her table.
But of course.
Right? And that's what we do when we walk every year, is we acknowledge we see the empty chairs.
Absolutely.
We see those empty places.
And you see everybody, look, I can't believe our time is up. We have had a fantastic, Stephanie, Katie, Melissa. I mean, it's just absolutely phenomenal what you're doing, and I am really pleading from my heart that the community come out this Saturday. Meet us there at 4:30 at Dr. King's Monument, right there on Palafox, so we can walk together to Valerie's house. I cannot commend you ladies enough for what you're doing and continue to do. And I will be right there to do what I can to help to make sure the word is out and my face will be seen to help.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate that. I've got to go, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm going to leave you as I do every single day because I mean this from my heart. Never, ever, ever lose your focus. Always remember to keep God first in whatever you do. If you handle your situation like that, I guarantee you, you're going to be a total success. Until 9 o'clock in the morning, know that I love you with a perfect kind of love. Keep shining while I'm gone. We'll see you then.
Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer.